Distinguished guests, if you're able, please stand. Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Dame Cindy Kero, Governor-General of New Zealand.
Ti hei mauri ora. Ko te amorangi ki mua, ko te hāpai o ki muri. Kia tau iho ona mana ki tanga ki runga ki tēnā, ki tēnā, ki tēnā o tātou. He honore he korōria he mau ngā rongo ki runga ki te mata o te whenua. He whakaaro pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Arohaina ngā teina, me ngā tuakana, e noho nei i rungi te whakaaro ko tahi pai marire.
Please be seated. E ngā mana, e ngā reo, e ngā iwi o ngā haue whā, tēnei aku mihi mahana ki o koutou. Nau mai, hara mai, ki te whare nei, te whare o te kāwana tianara, ki whanganuia tara. Distinguished guests, it is my pleasure to welcome you all to Government House, Wellington, for today's investiture ceremony. I'd like to specifically acknowledge Mr. Mike Butterick, Member of Parliament, Mr. Joe Harawira, our kaumātua, and Ms. Puhi Wahine Tibble, our kuia. Tēnā koutou. Hosting investiture ceremonies is one of the most important duties I perform on behalf of His Majesty, the King of New Zealand. I'm delighted to bring together such an extraordinary group of New Zealanders. You have each brought pride and a greater sense of well-being to Aotearoa, New Zealand, through your outstanding achievements and your service to our communities. On behalf of all New Zealanders, I extend my sincerest thanks to you for your contributions. After each recipient is honoured, I invite you to join with me in congratulating them. Ms. Catriona McLeod will now summon the recipients and read their citations.
Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Dr. David McKee of Wellington, for services to New Zealand Sign Language and the deaf community. Dr. David McKee and his wife established and taught the country's first full-time New Zealand Sign Language, NZSL, interpreter training course at Auckland Institute of Technology. He helped set up the New Zealand Sign Language Teachers Association and the Sign Language Interpreters Association of New Zealand. He was the first deaf lecturer and researcher at a New Zealand university, co-establishing Victoria University's Certificate in Deaf Studies, teaching NZSL course. He was director of the Deaf Studies Research Unit and consulting editor of the first dictionary of NZSL. He helped set up a bilingual committee at the Auckland-based Kelston Deaf Education Centre. He's a member of the Ministry of Education's NZSL Sector Advisory Group. Dr. McKee was chairperson of Deaf Aotearoa Holdings Limited. Dr. David McKee, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of an Officer of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Associate Professor Phil Brinded of Christchurch for services to psychiatry. Associate Professor Phil Brinded is a pioneer in the field of forensic psychiatry. He was a member of the assessment team for the 1988 Mason Report, looking into the procedures used in psychiatric hospitals, and helped implement its recommendations. He's a member of the New Zealand Parole Board and has served on the New Zealand Public Protection Order Review Panel. He has been a senior lecturer in psychological medicine and an associate professor at the Christchurch School of Medicine. He has written numerous book chapters and academic articles. Associate Professor Brinded has been Vice Chair of the Forensic Section of the Australian and New Zealand Royal College of Psychiatrists and was appointed as an expert witness to the United Nations Assistance Khmer Rouge War Crimes Tribunal. Associate Professor Phil Brinded, please come forward. Mr. David Burton of Wellington for services to food writing. David Burton was a food columnist and restaurant critic for the Evening Post and its successor, the Dominion Post, from 1982 to 2018. He continues to contribute restaurant reviews to Cuisine magazine. His acclaimed books on food history include The Raj at Table, A Culinary History of the British in India, French Colonial Cookery, A Cook's Tour of the French-speaking world, and 200 Years of New Zealand Food and Cookery. He lectured for the bachelor degree program of Le Cordon Bleu New Zealand and is now an ambassador of the school. Mr. Burton has been a long-standing judge of numerous New Zealand Food Producers Awards and chefs competitions, and served on international juries for the Slow Food Awards and San Pellegrino World's 50 Best Restaurants. Mr. David Burton, please come forward. Mrs. Jill Naylor of Alexandra for services to rural communities, particularly women. Jill Naylor was National President of Rural Women New Zealand, RWNZ. She advocated, inspired and empowered women from across the sector, strengthening rural communities through social connection. She advocated with government ministers and agencies to ensure access to social, health, welfare and education services, including school bus routes and banking services. She was a member of RWNZ's Education and Scholarship Committees and a judge for the NZI Rural Women New Zealand Business Awards. She was a member of RWNZ's Adverse Events Relief Fund Committee through a period of high demand after Cyclone Gabrielle. She's a trustee of the New Zealand Land Care Trust, which facilitates sustainable land and water management through community involvement. Mrs. Naylor was a trustee of the Life Education Trust, Heartland, Otago, Southland. Mrs. Jill Naylor, please come forward. Mr. John O'Sullivan of Havelock North for services to business and philanthropy. John O'Sullivan has built the Tumu Group of businesses since 1978, currently employing more than 600 staff. Through Tumu Group, he's invested in local infrastructure and organisations. He was a board member of ITM Cooperative. He financially supported the core training team of Outward Bound during the COVID-19 lockdowns. He supported establishment of Mates for Life, a charitable trust focused on mental health in the workplace. His businesses have employed released-to-work prisoners, helping them rehabilitate, and he's provided contract work to a skill-building program within the local prison. He set up Tumu Group's charitable arm, the Evergreen Foundation, which established a scholarship program for rangatahi at Lindisfarne College and a health fund. Through the Evergreen Foundation, Mr. O'Sullivan created a Cyclone Gabrielle Relief Fund. Mr. John O'Sullivan, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the insignia of a member of the New Zealand Order of Merit, Mr. Alan Gilmore of Lake Tekapo for services to astronomy. Alan Gilmore was resident superintendent of Mount John Observatory for the University of Canterbury. He and his wife, Ms. Pamela Kilmartin, hosted thousands of school children and other visitors to Mount John as part of their public outreach and education. They undertook a voluntary research program on astronomy during their employment and have co-discovered 41 asteroids and a comet. They continue their voluntary research in retirement, making observations and sending data to the Minor Planet Center funded by NASA. Mr. Gilmore was elected to the International Astronomical Union, IAU, and currently serves on 2 IAU commissions. He has twice been the Royal Astronomical Society of New Zealand President. Mr. Alan Gilmore, please come forward. Ms. Pamela Kilmartin of Lake Tekapo for services to astronomy. Pamela Kilmartin and her husband, Alan Gilmore, became observer technicians at Mount John Observatory for the University of Canterbury in 1980. They hosted thousands of school children and other visitors to Mount John as part of their public outreach and education. They undertook a voluntary research program on astronomy during their employment and have co-discovered 41 asteroids and a comet. They continue their voluntary research in retirement, making observations and sending data to the Minor Planet Center funded by NASA. Ms. Kilmartin was elected to the International Astronomical Union, IAU, and is part of its working group on small bodies nomenclature, responsible for naming small bodies in our solar system. Ms. Pamela Kilmartin, please come forward. Mr. Bruce Ross of Invercargill for services to cycling. Bruce Ross is a leading figure in Cycling Southland. He served as tour manager for the Tour of Southland, transforming the event from a 3 to 6 day format and overseeing the progression from an individual race to a team-based event. He secured accreditation for the tour from UCI, the world governing body for cycling, which drew overseas cyclists to the event. He supported youth participation in cycling while serving as Cycling Southland Development Manager, creating a cycle education program for schools and establishing the school's top bike competition. Mr. Ross played a key role in the establishment of New Zealand's first covered velodrome in Invercargill. Mr. Bruce Ross, please come forward. Ms. Diana Shand of Christchurch for services to the environment and the community. Diana Shand lectured at the Christchurch Polytechnic and University of Canterbury, where she later served as a council member. As Human Rights Commissioner, she established and led its South Island office. She served on the Canterbury Regional Council, leading campaigns around public transport, climate change, sustainability, biodiversity and smog reduction. She was on the Ministerial Advisory Group on Water. She held various roles in the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, while Regional Councillor for Oceania. She was National Project Manager for the Communities for Climate Projection New Zealand project with local governments for sustainability. Ms. Shand chairs the Forest and Bird Society North Canterbury branch. Ms. Diana Shand, please come forward. Mr. Norm Williamson of Pegasus for services to agriculture. Norm Williamson was one of the first farmers to convert a sheep and cropping farm in North Canterbury's Amuri Basin to large herd dairying and provided leadership for dairy farmers of the area in promoting irrigation schemes. He was chair of the Amuri Irrigation Company. He helped focus on the health of groundwater and surface water in catchments of the Huranui and Waiau rivers and tributaries by persuading farmer shareholders to prepare farm environmental plans. Mr. Williamson gained shareholder approval to convert the irrigation schemes to pressurised piped schemes, including design for power generation and involving Naitahu Farming Limited as a large shareholder. Mr. Norm Williamson, please come forward. Your Excellency, to receive the King's Service Medal, Mr. Kevin Lowe of Blenheim for services to the community and agriculture. Kevin Lowe was chair of the Flaxbourne Settlers Association and president of the Flaxbourne Agricultural and Pastoral Association. He's held several leadership roles with the Seddon Lions Club. He's director of the Hilary Crump Trust. As chair of the Flaxbourne Heritage Trust, he has led the rebuild of the Ward Museum, which was damaged in the Kaikoura earthquake. He was instrumental in setting up the impactful Taimati water scheme and has spearheaded the Flaxbourne irrigation scheme. Mr. Lowe continues to support tourism opportunities in the area, including the Whale Trail bike trail between Picton and Kaikoura. Mr. Kevin Lowe, please come forward. Mrs. Berry Rangi of Napier for services to the community, particularly Pacific peoples. Berry Rangi co-founded Te Are Ahuriri, the Napier branch of the National Pacific Women's Organization, Pacifica Incorporated. She was the Pacific Breast and Cervical Screening Health Promoter for Health New Zealand in the Hawke's Bay region. She's the Secretary of the Cook Islands Ecclesia of the St Andrew's Presbyterian Church in Hastings, Secretary to the Tamatea Women's Institute, and a member of the Aged Advisory Group for Napier City Council. She is a Meals on Wheels volunteer with the Red Cross in Napier. Mrs. Rangi delivers workshops across Hawke's Bay to help maintain the heritage craft of te vaivai or quilting. Mrs. Berry Rangi, please come forward. Your Excellency, the investiture has concluded.
New Zealand's honours system is the highest public affirmation of outstanding individual achievement. It reinforces those things that make our society better: service, manaakitanga, and the pursuit of excellence. To all our recipients today, it has been a privilege to hear your stories. You have each used your talents and abilities to improve the lives of fellow New Zealanders. In your own way, you have exemplified the sentiments expressed by Martin Luther King when he said, "Everybody can be great, because anybody can serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love." Please wear your insignia with pride at every opportunity, knowing that you inspire others by your example. On behalf of the King of New Zealand and all New Zealanders, I congratulate you on your achievements, and I thank you once again for your service to our country. Kia ora, I huhi mai nei I tēnei rā. Now you will see on the back of your program the words to the national anthem in te reo and English. I now invite you to stand with me and join in singing these.